Everybody, this is going to be a really a quick and hopefully simple lesson. And the goal in this lesson is really just to review what we call the properties of equality, or sometimes you'll hear them described as the algebraic properties. And so for this lesson, I'm not actually going to go over the answers as you do this. What I want you to do is pay attention. If you even need this, pay attention as I kind of walk through all the properties, and then you will try actually answering the questions about them. So really the goal of this lesson is for you to understand these properties well enough that you can describe them. So you're going to go where it says support material, go to properties of equality, and we're going to open up this image. And this is a table that if we were in the physical classroom, I'd pass this out for you to keep in your notebooks. But let's just run through these properties real quick. I want to make sure that you can make sense of them, and then you'll just answer the couple of questions I have. And that will actually be it for today. So reflexive. This one seems kind of weird. You're just saying that A equals A. Basically, you're saying anything equals itself. So this is a property that would come up if you were describing something. So basically you could do like, so I'll put it like this. Hopefully this makes sense to you. If you are talking about your math teacher and then your friend is talking about their coach, and if as you're talking, your friend goes, well, my coach is Mr. Rowden, and then you say, oh, well, my math teacher is Mr. Rowden, then you could say my math teacher is the same as my friend's coach. And the step in the middle of that, you're saying the coach is Mr. Rowden, the math teacher is Mr. Rowden. Well, Mr. Rowden equals Mr. Rowden, right? Like that's what it's saying right here. So one object is the same as one object. So you're saying if the math coach is Rowden and the teacher is, if the coach is Rowden, the teacher is Rowden, well, Rowden is Rowden, therefore the teacher and the coach are the same person. So it's like the middle step. It seems kind of like obvious right now, but it's going to be really necessary in explaining math stuff, right? So if you have like two triangles, you can say, hey, look, well, they both share this side. And if the side is 5 for this triangle, it's 5 for the other because 5 equals 5. So it's just saying anything equals itself. It's a helpful property that we're going to use when we're doing math. Symmetric. If A equals B, then B equals A. So basically you can flip any equation and it still works. So if we say that X equals 5, you could also say 5 equals X. Sometimes people, when they get their answers, they get confused if it's backwards. And they'll say, hey, but my answer is backwards than yours. But as long as it's the same two numbers, it doesn't matter what side of the equation they're on, or the same two objects, they can be on either side. Okay, transitive. If A equals B and B equals C, well, then A must equal C. Okay, this is a very, it's a logical process right here. So if A equals B, B equals C, well, B is the same thing, right? Up here, this idea that any object equals itself, we know that B is the same as B, therefore A must be the same as C. Addition, if A equals B, then if you do A plus C, you'll get the same as B plus C. This is what allows us to add to both sides of an equation. And we're going to do the same thing for all of these. For subtraction, we subtract from both sides. Multiplication, we multiply both sides. Division, we divide both sides. Notice all of these work, though, if you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing by the same amount and on both sides. And then lastly is substitution. And basically what I'm saying is if A equals B, then B can replace A in any expression. So what that means, if A equals B, then what I could do, and that's why transitive works. If A equals B, then anytime somebody says A, I could just say B instead. So look right here, when we say if A equals B, well, we've said that anytime we say A, we can say B instead, or vice versa. We can put, anytime there's a B, we can put an A there. So we could do, if A and B are the same thing, let's take this B and let's just say A instead, since they're the same. And then you have A equals C. So this actually is why the transitive property works. But so you see, I don't want you to have this table and just see it as a bunch of A's and B's and just random nonsense. I wanted to take the time to go through each one so you understand each one. So now go ahead and answer the set of questions I have for you. Once again, this might seem quicker than the normal lesson. I hope it is. This is meant to be review. This is some important stuff, though. We do need to take the time to make sure you understand before we go on to using this for longer and harder math problems. This will not be on the next test. This is meant to be just kind of a slow down and review type day. So the next test we'll be taking will not include this. This is something we will be using for future stuff that we'll learn. So as always, email me if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a good day.